miles above the Harlem city block to insulate the city from the effects of the explosion isn't the magical cure-all that you'd be hoping for. So
I gotta give you that one. What is up, everyone? It's me, Leroy, and welcome back to a new Game Theory reaction. Today we're gonna be reacting to his actually second Spider-Man theory in a row. It's about Spider-Man destroyed New York. Man, what the frick is this about to be? Why should Spider-Man even intend to destroy New York? That makes no sense. But there's only one way to find out. Oh, Green Spider-Man. There were rumors about this in the late 2008, you know? There even was a YouTube video about the Green Spider-Man. That tricked me, actually, believe it or not. One other thing I want to mention is that 93% of your sisters and brothers who are watching my videos haven't subscribed to my channel yet, so please subscribe and activate that beautiful bell, and let's get straight into the reaction. What a way to start off a video. Only math fans.
Good in tights. Today our focus is on Spider-Man,
tights, man.
specifically Miles Morales. Probably should clarify that.
I can't tell if they are sexual or just comfortable to wear. Probably both.
A well-earned vacay, but still.
MJ's headed overseas for the Bugle and requested me as her photographer. Kind of a working vacation for us.
So let's not let Peter distract us here. We've got much more interesting things to talk about today, because with the new Spider-Man comes new powers, and with new powers comes new responsibility. You see, Spider-Man Miles Morales just came out, and as upgrade 2.0 of the original Spider-Man, got himself some feature bloat. In addition to your standard
that was pretty nice. How did you edit that?
Miles has camouflage ability and bioelectricity. Now, don't even get me started on this. Maybe get me started a little on this, because what the? First, the camouflage. Great, you got yourself special DNA powers from a spider bite that make you invisible. Cool, totally fine with that. But why are your clothes able to change too? These
because
are
if it didn't,
DNA-based
then it wouldn't be fun.
I'm not asking for Streaker Man running around town. I'm just saying
that
your DNA magic should not be able to cloak
make sense out of this.
Literal cloak. Gripe number
That's just
two,
like
your
trying to make sense out of an anime.
Venom strikes? Yeah,
Let me
that's not
quickly check my camera.
With another character in this franchise.
Let's continue.
Digression over. Thank you for letting me get that off my chest. Anyway, thanks to Miles's electrocharged Venom powers, Miles succeeds in a battle against Rhino where Peter fails. It's enough to make Pete realize that he's quickly becoming obsolete.
Bioelectricity. Wow. To be honest,
I didn't know that. That's pretty amazing.
Now, of course, these electrical abilities are useful during combat, but to me, there's something much more interesting about them. Throughout the game, Miles is forced to use his body like a capacitor, aka a device that stores up electrical energy. Sometimes he's sucking the power out of security systems to shut them down or get past electrified barriers. Sometimes he's powering things up like a battery on two legs with excellent taste in music. But without question, the most impressive feat we see Miles accomplish comes at the end. So, spoiler warning, because it's kind of impossible to actually talk about the game's big climactic scene without, you know, saying everything that happens.
Okay, I'm ready. Spoiler warning, guys and girls.
So the final mission of the game, the Battle for Harlem, features the climactic showdown between our two opposing forces. In this corner is Roxxon, a mega corporation that's promising to deliver high-efficiency power to all of Harlem with their innovative new fuel source called Nuform.
What you're standing next to is a Nuform.
Too
no
close,
points for guessing that Nuform is actually dangerous.
No one's gonna care about a few sick people uptown or a dead engineer.
Prolonged exposure to it can result in health defects
like
recipe
for disaster.
And in our other corner is the high-tech terrorist group known as the Underground. Vigilantes that are trying to expose Roxxon's evil business practices. If you're wondering why the Underground is one of the bad guy factions here, well, their way of sending a message about the dangers of Roxxon isn't by, you know, whistleblowing or contacting the news or anything like that, but rather by blowing up a reactor which will actually cause an explosion that destroys all of Harlem.
You're not just gonna destroy Roxxon Plaza. You're gonna vaporize all of Harlem!
After a battle against the Underground's leader, the Tinkerer, Miles finally makes his way to the reactor. And in the same way that we've seen him drain the power of electrical devices across the city, Miles draws the power from the reactor.
He draws the power?
But of course, that is a lot of energy, and Miles, as a human capacitor, has to do something with it all.
Get them far away. I can't hold this in much longer.
Luckily, the head of the Underground has a last-minute change of heart and decides to help Miles out by grabbing him and flying high above the city, so that when he releases the massive explosive discharge of energy...
Did she die?
Nothing and nobody is close enough to get hurt. In the end, Miles survives so he can return for the sequel. Harlem is saved, and the Tinkerer has a heroic final sacrifice, but because we never see the body, she can always return in the sequel if they feel like it.
Yeah,
Final
of course,
cutscene
of course,
is quite
of course.
frankly an awesome display of
Kind of
power,
like how they did.
bravery,
No,
and
actually, I was gonna
self-sacrifice. It's also completely
reference Color
useless.
Splash,
sure,
but no.
it may look all
There was no
heroic,
sequel
but
to that.
Miles Morales completely fails to protect the city in this moment. Miles completely botches the rescue of New York City and kills millions. But to understand why, we first need to look a bit closer at the reactor. At the start of the game, we
Let's
see a
do so.
big presentation from
Look at that
Roxxon's
hair.
head of R&D,
Reminds me of
Simon
Mario's hair
Krieger.
in
As we
Odyssey.
find out, this reactor runs
What
on
a
a
piece
fictional
of art
fuel
style.
source known as Newform.
Art.
Just one
Artwork.
canister of this revolutionary fuel source is enough to supply Harlem with clean, safe energy for the next 500
Safe energy,
years.
yeah.
Of course,
I
Newform is
believe
actually
that.
making people sick, meaning it's a threat to everyone in Harlem, to which I say, why would you not build a power plant somewhere else? Like, I don't know, middle of the desert? That is literally what's done
Because
with
it's
tons
not
of other
close to the
real-world
city,
power
duh.
plants. Guess what? The existence of power grids make it so that the power plant that supplies energy to all of Harlem doesn't actually have to be in Harlem. In fact,
True.
tons of people in New York City have their homes powered by electricity
this
that's
is not in New York
generated by
City.
Niagara Falls, which is like 400 miles away. You can even maintain it using the robotic help that we know exists in the Marvel Universe, or heck, just use some of the holograms that we see throughout the game. Roxxon's plan to build their sickness-causing power plant in the middle of a population center is not just evil, but let's get real, it's just bad business. Seriously, have you looked
Probably.
at real estate prices for New York City?
There'd
A
be a lot of,
moderately sized commercial building
what
is
do you
going to
call
cost
that?
you nearly $1 billion.
I
Billion with a
can't
B
remember.
dollars. Maybe it's time I just quit YouTube and become the accountant for an
Anyways.
evil corporation. Probably
I gotta
save
get
a
one of
bunch
those hats,
money.
even
Does
though they
that
look
sound
weird.
video? Since a single
Look at
canister
that
of
guy.
Newform has
By the way,
enough
doesn't
energy to
the
power
back of his
Harlem
head
for
look
500
ridiculous?
years, all we need to know
The
is how
CEO
much
of
energy
Amazon, I think.
Harlem consumes in a year and then multiply it by 500. Luckily, we have ourselves
no.
a handy tool for calculating this exact number, thanks to
Or
VJ
brain.
Mahdi, a professor of mechanical engineering at Columbia University. This map
Nice.
shows the estimated annual energy
I
consumption
like to
of New
think
York
that
City on
MatPat
a
has a
granular
genius behind his
block-by-block
videos
basis.
that are doing
Totaling
all
up
the
all of
calculations
Harlem
for
gives us
him.
a total of, let's see,
Hey, it's not too far-fetched now, is it?
91,860 megawatt hours per year. That
My
means that if a
goodness.
single canister of Newform has enough
what
energy
does
to
that
power
mean?
Harlem for 500 years, it is packing a total of 45.93 million megawatt
This is nothing
hours.
when you
Or,
watch
to
Death
put that
Battle.
in SI units, which will make it easier for our calculations later,
Yeah, man.
165.3 million
Okay,
gigajoules.
maybe that
Why
means
are you not
means
impressed?
something.
Oh, I know, because those numbers are meaningless. I've been doing this for a
For me.
decade, and I still can't automatically see
anybody
megawatt
else
hours or
that's not
gigajoules and know whether that's a really
studying
impressive
rocket
number or
science.
not. So to put those numbers in perspective, the amount of energy that Miles is absorbing from the reactor is approximately 95% the amount of energy from the sun that hits the Earth in 1 second, or 5 times as much as
That's
all the nuclear
ridiculous,
power plants
Miles.
on Earth generate
Poor
every
boy.
single day. It is
Well, he's right.
2,625 times as much energy as was unleashed by the atomic bomb that was dropped on
Yeah, that's
Hiroshima during
ridiculous.
World War II. And that is just the energy in a single canister of the stuff. At the end of the game, we're
Okay.
told that Miles has to stop the reactor because if it blows up, the resulting explosion would destroy all of Harlem.
You're not just gonna destroy Roxxon Plaza. You're gonna vaporize all of Harlem.
But
And the
boy,
world.
this would go way beyond just destroying Harlem.
Yeah.
The most powerful nuclear
That was
weapon
not
ever
an
tested was
exaggeration
the
when he
Tsar
mentioned that.
Bomba, which was created by the USSR during the Cold War. It had an explosive
Oh, no.
yield of around 243 million gigajoules. And,
My
well, take a look at the mushroom cloud
goodness.
yourself. That picture
What
was taken
did
at a distance of
science
100
allow?
miles or 161 kilometers away. And you can still see the cloud, which itself is 40 miles or 65 kilometers high. Now, what's notable is that this bomb was actually detonated at an elevation of 2.5 miles or 4 kilometers above the ground, and it still left a massive crater below it. Not only that, but
Yeah.
structures over 500 miles away from ground zero were still hit by the after effects of the explosion. To put that in perspective, if you detonated
My
that
goodness.
same explosive
Every
yield
time
over
when
Harlem,
an
people
after
as far as
effect or a
North
bomb hits
Carolina
anything,
would
it
be
reminds me
feeling
of the
Heck, people
death
in
animation of
Canada
Link in
would
Majora's
be
Mask.
feeling it. Tsar Bomba actually created a seismic wave in the Earth's crust that circled the globe 3 separate times before it finally dissipated. Now, Miles's discharge, ugh, that sounds gross. Gyarados, his electrical explosion isn't quite as powerful as Zarbomba.
Oh, my
His
bad.
yield is only 68% as powerful as, you know, the most powerful nuclear weapon to ever be tested on Earth. But it does raise an important point here, which is that the Tinkerer's simple plan of flying miles above the Harlem city block to insulate the city from the effects of the explosion isn't the magical cure-all that you'd be hoping for. So
I gotta give you that
is
one.
the damage we're talking about here? Well, in that final scene, we see the Tinkerer running up the side of a building only to hold Miles just slightly above the cloud line. The tallest building in Harlem is the Harlem River Park Towers 1 and 2, standing at around 420 feet or 130 meters tall. Not super high. So that's our initial launch point. And from there, there are technically 3 layers of clouds, low, middle, and high clouds. The lowest layer caps off at 6,500 feet or 2,000 meters. And considering the launch point is significantly lower than that, we're going to say that this is absolutely the highest height that the Tinkerer is able to get. Using this website, nuclearsecrecy.com, we can actually see what happens when you detonate a 34,000 kiloton
no matter how high she went up, everybody would have died anyways?
So did Miles manage to save Harlem? Let's find out in 3, 2, 1, detonate. Nope. Big no. Basically, all of Harlem is vaporized as it falls within what's called the fireball zone.
If
the
it
rest of
actually happened, I
Central New
wouldn't
York
have
City
said
is
it
in the
that
heavy
way. I would have
blast
just said,
damage
no,
zone, where heavy
not
concrete
just
buildings
big
are
no.
severely damaged or
Like
demolished, and fatalities approach 100%. Goodbye Central Park, goodbye Times Square, goodbye Broadway.
Goodbye America,
there wasn't
right?
really anything happening there anyway this year, and I have Hamilton on Disney Plus, so really that one wasn't too much of a loss. The entire rest of the city, as well as all the surrounding boroughs, fall pretty solidly into the moderate damage zone, where most residential buildings collapse and fatalities are widespread. My conservative estimate looking at this data is that 4 million people die in the resulting explosion. So it was a nice thought, Tinkerer, but you really didn't make that much of a difference. But fortunately, our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man survived the apocalyptic fallout, and the fact that he was able to absorb all of this energy into his body is a serious testament to his capabilities as a superhero. I mean, it's not quite MCU's Thor allowing the entire energy of a star to pass through his body, but he's doing pretty darn good. To give some context, a lightning strike has the power of about 10 gigawatts. So what Miles is experiencing is the equivalent of getting struck by 1,180,000 lightning bolts simultaneously. So you know what? I think I take back what I said. Maybe Miles is actually a better match for Thor, the God of Thunder, than I thought. And yet New York is apparently still full of street criminals who think they can go toe-to-toe with Miles using nothing but their fists. Maybe that's the most unbelievable part of this game. No, definitely the fact that the explosion destroyed all of New York. Hard to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man when you just accidentally nuked the neighborhood. But hey, it's episodes like today's that make me really thankful for our sponsor, NordVPN.
Everything
Why
is
use
fine.
a VPN?
So he didn't say, hey, that's just a Fury, Game Fury? He skipped his outro? I expected something more, Mad Bad. Yeah, but definitely, this was an amazing Fury. I prefer this one over the last one, and I can't wait to watch more Spider-Man Furies of this channel, especially Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Furies. If you also can't wait to let me know in the comment section below, leave a like, subscribe, and activate that beautiful bell. And I'll see you guys and girls next time. Take care. Ciao!